Post this here. Bang. Twitter. Boom. And away we go. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? Gotta wait for this feed to come through. There we go. We're here. What's going on, everybody? So we're talking a little NBA today. I wanted to talk a little bit about lineup construction before we get into my picks and the slate and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to get into how I go about building my lineups and what you guys can do to benefit from my strategy. So the minute we got heads here, we will start. Just waiting for the peoples. So I had a decent night. I lost, but I had one entry end up in 7th place and won me back a portion of my money, so I didn't get banged out as bad as I otherwise could have. So that was good. It was real good. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anybody on the podcast. So if nobody shows up, I'll sit here for a few minutes and then I'll go about my day. I'll build my lineups. And I won't give you guys any information. Smoking the eye. Hey, Evan Garcia, what's up, buddy? All right, well, if we have one person here. All right, we got 2 people here. All right, beautiful. So we're going to we'll go ahead and start here. We'll talk about lineup construction. So what it is I like to do. Hold on, Katie. Uh-oh. I didn't expect a girl to show up this quickly. I had something planned for that. Yeah, Katie's here. Uh-oh. We got a girl sighting. All right, guys. So, am I the only one? LOL. So, who do you think is better tonight, Gallo or ABC? Listen, before we do any of that stuff, before we get into any of that stuff, I want to go through a little bit of suggestions about how I set my lineups, and then we'll get into all that. So, I like to do a 3 to 4 lineup system. And what you want to do is you want to find one person that you sell out on. Remember how I told you guys to go through the tiers and the tiering system? So, what I like to do is I like to look at the players as a group instead of looking at each position by position, decide who's the best $10,000 player, who's the best $9,000 player, 7, 6, so on and so on and so on. So you're always going to find people. Sometimes you don't find people at any group, but you're always going to find somebody in either like shooting guard, like tonight, like point guard. You might like Randy Foye for value, and you might like Steph Curry for the guy you want to go all in on. So what I do is the one I like the most, I'll make 3 lineups with that person, and then I'll pivot from that person to whatever the lowest dollar tier is that I like a guy from, and I'll make that swap. And then I'll upgrade from someone else who I had a low tier guy that I liked to a high tier guy that I liked. And I'll do that between like each lineup. So I'll sell out on one guy or 2 guys all the way across, and then I'll have exposure of my 4 lineups to 3 of the guys that I really like, but I'll always be pivoting out 2. I'll always be changing 2 guys from a top tier guy that I like to a mid tier or bottom tier guy that I like. And I always try to fade in one lineup whatever the chalk is, whatever I think is going to be the most heavily owned player, whether it's a high owned player or a low owned player. That's how I do it. So you got to take some hard lines somewhere. Anyways, So tonight, guys, start firing in your questions. I got a question here already. Favorite play tonight? My favorite play tonight is Derrick Rose. Okay, and also Steph Curry. Steph Curry is finally in a game where maybe it'll be close and he'll stay on the court the entire time because recently that has not been the case. Uh, so I like Steph Curry, but as far as some sort of value, with everybody out in Chicago tonight, I like Derrick Rose. But what I've also done is I've made sure on each lineup to put in one other guy that I think benefits from the fact that that Heinrich and Brooks are out. So I've got Derrick Rose pretty much everywhere, but then I've made sure to put Tony Snell in because he directly benefits from that. If he does well, then I've got him in a lineup. I've also got Miritic. I've also got Butler. So guys that are going to be affected and having to shoot more shots and get more involved in the offense as a result of what's going on, I've taken those guys and made sure to they were like my one-offs, my one-off changes. Am I the only one? LOL. Oh well. I'm just here to listen. I talked to you earlier on Twitter. Yeah, I have a Twitter now. I mean, I've always had a Twitter, but for this, at DFS is fun. So you can follow me on at DFS is fun, and that's where I'll do all my chatting. It's really hard to answer you guys individually when you're sending me stuff, and it's really hard to, be bouncing back and forth between Facebook questions and here and everything. So if I can get everything in one place, I'd like it to be on the YouTube chat and the Twitter because the Twitter will come right through to my phone, and I'll be able to, just look at it and then bang, fire out an answer to the question. I'm having trouble building the last piece of mine, looking for a 5,400 under utility player. So anyone in the world at 5,400 at that price point, I like. Hold please. I've got Jared Bayless in one of my lineups at that price point. I'm really big on JJ Redick tonight, guys. And the reason I'm big on JJ Redick is he's been playing a little better as of late, and his historical numbers in his last few games against Portland have been pretty good. He's averaging a good. I mean, I don't want to give away all the secrets, so to speak, but I like JJ Redick because of his historical situation with Portland. At $4,400, I'm expecting him to go 6x on that salary tonight, or close to it. So JJ Redick's like my sleeper tonight that I really like. Once again, I build a lot of lineups. You know what I mean? So I'm able, not a lot, I'm building three or four, probably four, but I'm able to put in a set of guys that I like. Like if you go look at the $300 tournament tonight and you go live, because that's what I'll be in. I'll be in the $300, mega three ball, whatever the hell it's called. And if you go look, whichever one is listed as like number one, if they do it that way, I'm not sure if the first lineup you put in is always like the one that's labeled as like, DeBrahma Bull with no number next to it, like the first lineup. But the first lineup that I create is the lineup that I'm like, this is the lineup. Everything else is a variation based on that. So if you had to put one lineup in, I wouldn't necessarily tell you to play Reddick, but if you want to vary off, I would go with Reddick. I also like Gerald Green. I see no reason to fade him tonight. I'm high on Kevin Durant. I'm high on Millsap. I'm high on Rose. I am high on I'm high on life right now, guys. I'm high on Curry. I'm high on Durant. I feel a little bit like this about Westbrook, but I'll have exposure. At center, I like Capella. I like Drummond, and then I pretty much didn't take anybody else. I split up my exposure between those guys. And then I took another shot on Danny Green because using my theory that I told you guys about, that when I get screwed by a player over and over, I just keep plugging them into my lineup for the day that they do go off, and they're not going to be owned because they suck. So that's what's going on. Let me get back to some questions over here. Got them already. Just followed you on Twitter. Thank you very much, buddy, at Top Knox. Cousins, your top play if he plays. I'm actually hoping that he plays, and I will not be playing him. Because I feel like people, depending on when the information comes out, if people are scared of him because he might not play, then even if he does go crazy, he may be low owned, and I don't really trust him with his injury and everything like that. And if he plays, I'm not forced to look at people from Sacramento anymore. When he doesn't play, all of a sudden you really you have to start considering, Rondo, and McLemore gets more involved in the offense for value and salary relief, and Rudy Gay, of course. So I actually hope that he does play, but I won't be playing him tonight. That is not going to be my move tonight. Now, I want to tell you guys about something else that I do, which I'm about to do right now with you guys. So there's a website called Hot Roster. Okay, essentially what Hot Roster is it's a fantasy matchup site, and it's essentially like parlaying games for like sports betting purposes. If anything should get shut down, no offense, Hot Roster, when they're saying that this is not a skill game and it's just like gambling, it's this site, because this site is essential. There's no difference between taking the Pittsburgh Steelers -6 versus, Ben Roethlisberger -6 against, Blake Bortles. They're just, instead of using the teams, they're using the players and the fantasy points based on how this site Hot Roster scores it. But what I'll use Hot Roster for is I'll go to so they have these cards. They're called, like, NBA cards or football cards or whatever, and they compare the players to one another. Now, because this is essentially you're playing against the house, their handicappers have a very, very big incentive to get these lines, correct. So, for an example, they've got Chris Bosh paired up against Dwayne Wade. It's pretty much a point for everything on this site, so you have to look at the scoring to figure out, how it's scored, because it's scored a little bit different than DraftKings. But when you see Chris Bosh is -2.5 fantasy points against Dwayne Wade, so that tells you that this site, who, if they don't set these lines correctly and accurately, they could get banged up because all the money's coming out of their pocket. You're playing against the house on this particular site. So it's very advantageous for them to make these lines and make these lines wisely. So if I see, like, Westbrook, say, is being paired against Mirotic for some strange reason, right? And Westbrook is only -8 fantasy points against him. That is making me more interested in Mirotic, because that means that Mirotic is, based on the way this place is handicapping it, and it's very important that they do it well, that they're kind of the same within 8 points. So if I think Westbrook is going to go for 55, then that means, in theory, Mirotic will go for 47 if they're within that if they're correct with their handicapping, which they usually are. It's very hard to pick these. You essentially parlay guys together, and you can string together as many as 10, and if you hit all 10, then you can win, I think it's 200 times whatever it is that you wager, with a maximum wager of 20. So I like to look at these things, look who people are matched up against. In particular, like, here's a perfect example. James Harden is -4 on one of these matchup charts against. If you guys are asking questions, I can't see him right now because I'm going through this. James Harden is matched up against Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is getting 4 fantasy points. So Kevin Durant being a little bit cheaper than James Harden, but being comparable as far as this site, plus the things I've read about him already and the things I've looked at that make me like him, I'd rather have Durant than Harden. So this is just a place that you can come to look at that. They also have over-unders, which I think are very helpful. So the over on this side is Steph Curry at 43. And because they score their points differently with no bonus, and steals and rebounds, they're all worth 1 point as opposed to 1.5 points or 1.25 points. If they're going over on this site, they're going probably 5 or 6 to maybe even 10 or 11 points, depending on whether they shot 3-pointers or what happened, what stats they're accruing, because the points are still, 1 for 1. They usually score more than this. So Steph Curry's at 43, Westbrook's at 43, Gallinari's at 31. So this is an over-under. You can choose to go over-under. But when I see that over-under, the guys with the higher ones, those are the ones that I like to try to target. Because as I said, it's very, very important that they get this stuff right. Because if they set these lines wrong, then you go in and you go, oh, this is easy. Over, under. This guy sucks. They have to try to give you something competitive, just like a line in sports. So just a little insider's tip that I use. Harden is also matched up with Curry in a different one. Drummond is matched up with Millsap, so you guys can take a look at this stuff and have some fun with it. And I find that helps me. All right, I'm getting rid of that now. Let me see if I can see your questions now, because I haven't been looking at that. If you guys have been posting questions, I apologize, but I'm trying to give you all the tricks that I use to best set my winning lineups. Because like I said, I'm here to help you guys. I don't see any questions on Facebook. That's good, because I like that there are no questions on Facebook, because I don't want that. I want them in a what's it called spot. Sorry guys. All right. So over here. The website was Hot Roster, HOTROSTER. You have to sign up for it, like you're gonna join it, but you don't ever have to even put any money into it if you don't want to. Cephalosha, I have one Cephalosha tonight. Would I play Rondo if Cousins does play? No, because I want the ultimate upside, and I would rather get what I consider to be a lot of upside from Derrick Rose, and who's going to be on the court the longest amount of time. Greg Monroe tonight, thinking Alphabet does big too. Yeah, I'm not on Greg Monroe, but he's a play. But I'm not on him. I don't know what RotoViz is. Why no Monroe versus Denver? Because I'm going a different route. This is not about me analyzing why all these plays are good plays. Think of this as a tote service on some level. You come, you listen to what it is that I say, and then you choose to go with it or not. You choose to fade me or play me, and make your little tweaks where it is that you want to. So again, the website again is Hot Roster that I go check. Been using that site for a while. Never understood it really, just for football. That's what I use it for. I mean, you can also go there and make wagers if you want, but I don't do that. Capella, yes or no? Capella, yes. If he starts, of course, and he has been, so he should. Thank you, Mike Will. Amazing insight. I split my lineups between Capella and Drummond. Let's do. Got a Twitter. We got a Twitter. DFS. This is from at Matt White 85. Thoughts on double dipping with Drummond and Whiteside together, and thoughts on Cousins. Could be low on. I think Cousins will be low on, but I'd rather have. This is the first night in a long time where you can get Curry and not be as worried about it being a runaway game where he sits in the fourth quarter. So I want to spend my money on Curry. Dipping with Drummond, Whiteside is officially probable. I like that. That's good, because so now I don't have to worry about anybody. I mean, if you want to play Cousins, you can, but I don't have to worry about anybody from anybody else from Sacramento. Drummond and Whiteside together. Hey, look, they're both beasts. I just would rather only have one center tonight. I mean, you'll be the only guy that does that. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I'm not doing it. Who are the guys you're starting at small forward? No love for Rondo in a revenge game. To me, it's not a revenge game. I mean, I know it's a revenge game, but he played with Boston forever. I know he was with the Mavs for a short period of time, but it's, I don't see that as a revenge game. Yes, it's a revenge game, but I'm not on it. I'm high on dollar. So on high dollars tonight, I'm leaning Boogie. Should I pivot Harden or Curry? I wouldn't go Harden. I would go Curry. Personal opinion. They're both capable of going nuts. See, when I sell on a night like this where there's so many stars, I have a feeling that Curry is going to be a strong play tonight, and he's one of my favorite plays at that high $10,000 tier position. But you also have to understand that this is a situation where you have to sell out on some people. So for me, I'm choosing to sell out on more of my low dollar guys. A lot of times, if I'm going to put one guy everywhere, it's going to be like Curry everywhere. A guaranteed guy that I know is going to do well. Westbrook everywhere. But tonight, because I'm not entirely sure there, I'm doing Gerald Green everywhere. I'm doing Derrick Rose almost everywhere. I'm going after, I gotta look at my lineups. I'm going after JJ Redick almost everywhere, which allows me then to put in Westbrook in one, Curry in one, Kevin Durant and Westbrook, Kevin Durant and Curry, Kevin Durant and Drummond. I'm able to dance around that and figure out who it is, and hopefully one of them will hit, is basically the idea. But you got to sell out. You have to sell out. I usually sell out on 3 or 4 guys And when I say sell out, there's usually one guy that's in every lineup, one, two, or even three guys that are in every lineup. And then if I'm doing four lineups, I'll do three consistent and then change. But when I change one, it automatically makes me change another one because if I come down from a high side, I come off the rant and I put in the guy at the lower tier that I like, then I've got to come up from somebody else because I'm not going to leave $4,000 on the table. So I play that game. Bale starting, not sure it. I can look. Gerald Green is a must play with that. I see no reason to fade him. I see no reason to fade him. Duncan has been awesomely consistent against Den and Amherst. No, but not because it's not a good play. I'm saying I've done all my due diligence. I've looked at everything, and these are the people that I like. Always a core then built around a simply concept. Yeah. Why am I selling out on Felton? I have him everywhere. I have Felton in one lineup, and I don't know. I don't know what your everywhere is. I don't know if everywhere is like 2 lineups or 10 lineups. I'm saying if you have more than 50% exposure to Felton, it's too much, in my opinion. Best MVA information in the game. Thank you so much, buddy. I'm gonna like that. I'm mostly Durant or Small Caspi. I don't think Caspi is as valuable now with the Drummond news. Thoughts on double dipping with Drummond and White? Yeah, I already answered that question. Live streaming best NBA. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. I want to do a giveaway. Dang is out. Let me look at Basketball Monster. I got all these things up here. You're going to leave 300 on the table with that first line. This is a friend. Yeah. Yeah. Doing a show, buddy. Can't give you personal attention. Even though I am. Personal attention. All right. Where was I here? I want to do a giveaway, guys. So this is what we're gonna do. We are going to. I'm gonna play you guys a song, and I want you to tell me what movie it came from. And if you can, then I want you to inbox me your PayPal username if you have one. So you can really only do this if you have a PayPal username. I'm gonna play a song, and if you can figure out what movie that this song is from, then I'm gonna give you basically a free Million Maker ticket because I'm gonna PayPal you $20. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me just find the thing about this song is you cannot find it like anywhere. You can't find it anywhere. It's only in the clip from the movie that is on YouTube. And if someone could find me this whole song, I would absolutely love to have it. So the first person to get it right, I'll then select you. And I just gotta find the thing. All right. First person to get it.
Lots of people walking around this place with a different story on every face. Hearts on fire, will they make it through? At the wire,
Anybody?
will they win or lose?
Anybody? Now there's dialogue from the movie here, so I've got to go past it. And then
And you lay your money
Nope.
down when you cross the line to another place. Comes a time when you got to let it ride.
So any guessers? Any guessers out there? It is an 80s flick, maybe early 90s. So if nobody gets it, nobody gets it. So when building Masquerade, why so silent? Don't know what that is. When building rosters, how many value players do you have, and what salary number do you consider Bread sings it? Nope. I don't know. No. Guy Bread does not sing it. Play the chorus part. You guys want to go back to this real quick? All right, I gotta find where it starts. Hold on.
There's a perfect time when you're tempting fate, and you lay your money down. When you cross the line to another place, comes a time when you got to let it ride.
No, not the X's.
There's a perfect time when you're tempting fate, and you lay your money down. When you cross the line to another place, comes a time.
So we got any guesses, guys? Any guesses? When building a roster, how many value players do you have, and what salary number do you consider a value? 3,000. Okay, well, we got two people here. We have two winners that I'm seeing here. Jeremy Yoshimoto said "Let It Ride," and Hornstove also said "Let It Ride." It is the movie "Let It Ride." However, "Let It Ride" was in the title, so you may have just taken a swing. Oh, dude, it's a great movie. You got to go watch it. It's a great movie. It's about a gambler's like big day, just winning. It's a good movie. Anyways, so because I don't know if it's because you knew the song from the movie or if it was because that was in the song you're taking a guess. The first one of you, Jeremy Yoshimoto and Hohen Ren Stoep, okay, I'm putting this both out to you at the same time. For the win, who's the star of the movie? If you got to Google it, whatever. First person to put it in, though. Boom! Yoshimoto. All right, Yoshimoto, on Facebook, send me your PayPal email, and I'm going to, but he just gave me Richard Dreyfuss. So, bada boom, and go ahead and send me that over. And I'm going to lace you up with 20 bucks. You can do whatever you want to. You can put it in the side or you can just have it, but that's what's happening. I'm logging into my PayPal now. PayPal. Log in. Boom. Just go ahead and get that over to me. Inbox me though. Don't put it up in the chat. Sweet. Yeah, just inbox me, dude. Are you friends with me on Facebook, or do you know what? You're in the group, so just inbox me on Facebook. And hi, Sean Holly. So there we go. Mannequin. I like the movie Mannequin. So I'm high on Millsap. Like I said, Curry. JJ Redick is my, sleeper of the day. And that's pretty much all my information that I'm just going to give out to you. Now you can start asking me, this guy, this guy, this guy, that guy. Where are you at? So save to stack Miritich with Rose. I've got Miritich in 1. I've got Rose in 3. I like Miritich. I don't know if I would stack Miritich with Rose though. I mean, I did in 1, but that's because that's not the one I feel the most confident about. Put it that way. OJ Mayo. I don't like OJ Mayo tonight. Going another route. So please follow me at Twitter, or not at Twitter, on Twitter at DFS is fun, and we can communicate on there throughout the night if I'm available. I mean, I do have a life as well. It's not a very interesting life, but I do things. So I'll talk to you guys if I can. The inbox stuff, guys, I love that you guys want my information, and I really appreciate it. It's very flattering, but it's very hard for me to have one-on-one conversations with you guys like throughout the night because I'll get all kinds of inbox messages from people, and I want to help everyone. I don't want to leave people out. Rodney Hood, don't like Hood tonight. Not on my radar. Let's try to get this up here, guys. Let's get friends involved. Let's blow this thing out of the water. I'm gonna start a website. I think I've already bought the domain, which is dfssfun.com. I'm gonna charge some sort of nominal subscription fee, $20 a month, $10 a month, or maybe $1 a podcast. Because I also don't want to have to do this, and I'm thinking I'm only gonna do this Monday through Friday. I'm gonna exclude the weekends because I have to have a life, and I'm guessing 5 o'clock is the time. If I go to like a paid subscription type situation, then I'll do it from like 5:30 to 6:30 so that I can. And we're gonna try to make it fun. Okay, I'm gonna clear out my garage. I'm thinking hopefully eventually, or maybe I'm just saying this, but in theory, if I get motivated enough to do it, we'll get a desk, we'll get a co-host, try to make it look like a real show, lights, camera, action, all that stuff. Maybe get a hot chick, you know, find a hot chick with fantasy basketball knowledge. Jay Crowder, not on my radar. Don't hate him, but he disappoints me a lot, so not on my radar. Dirk and Marcus Morris. Dirk, what's pretty cool, Anthony Morales? Expound, please. Extrapolate. I need more. Dirk and Marcus Morris. I am Ron Burgundy. Dirk is dangerous just because he's so old, but there's merit there. But I'm not going that route. Marcus Morris. I don't like Marcus Morris. I just don't. Can you pass that? The cigarette? I'm gonna pass the cigarette to you. I'm a good Catholic boy. I don't dabble in the devil's lettuce, boys. How dare you? I don't like your assumption. Unless you want me to pass the cigarette. Can you explain more why you like Rose, if you didn't already? He's an inconsistent. This looks like it's going to be an insult. I'm going to check the Twitter feed. Boom. All right. I got that, Jeremy. I'm giving it to you in a second. Where's the question? Who are some cheap options at the SF tonight? I will try to fit in KD and Seth Drummond. You can. It's difficult. I'm not gonna tell you exactly how I did it, but you can. Can you explain more why some cheap options? Okay, some cheap options of small forward tonight are that I like. Are Thabo and pretty much Thabo. I went Durant everywhere else. I like Derrick Rose because of the fact that both Heinrich, and Aaron Brooks are out. So he's just, I mean, who else are they going to use? They can slide some guys over and move some shit around, but he's going to have to get minutes. And if he's on the court at I think, what is he, 60? He might be 5,900. Yeah, 5,900. Give me all the Rose. Give me all the Rose all day long. So you said no Mayo. I seem to have him and G Green in a lot of lineups since he's so cheap. It's now listen. I'm not trying to make you guys abandon your lineup. I'm just telling you what it is that I'm doing and where I'm leaning. I will not always be right, but I will give you my logic for why I pick my people. If I don't have a lot of information about people that you asked me about, it's because I looked at them and then I went, nah, and I didn't look into them any further. So if there's something that you know that you want to put in here that I'll look into and then give you an on-the-fly analysis, I can do that. All right, I want to get this PayPal over to this guy, and then what was your name? I forget your name. Do me a favor, and then once you get this, because you'll be getting it here in a second, just let them know that you got it, so people know that I'm for real. So this is going to you. Okay, make sure that matches that, and it does match that, and then. Okay, this should be. Okay, this should be going to you. Just sent it, and it should be there. Please let me know that you got it. Clint Capella going to be okay, even if backing up Howard. I've got him in 2 lineups. So, I mean, I'd rather if he was starting, but I won't necessarily shift off him if he's not. I may. Don't hold me to that. But as of right now, I don't have that information. Let me sign into Basketball Monster. See if we got anything going here. Cousins is probable. Mari Bosch. Yeah, I guess we don't have that information yet. So what are you gonna do? Now a lot of people have been talking Randy Foy today, and well, let me get you to cheap power forward. Cheap power forward. I went with. I got some exposure to Miritich. I got some exposure to Parker. I've got some exposure to other people. I like Draymond Green tonight. He's got good numbers, but he's not cheap. A power forward. Yeah, I wouldn't go below. I wouldn't go below Jabari. There's nobody down there that I like. You know, maybe if you think that Dirk is going to run into foul trouble dealing with Cousins, then Dwight Powell can be a pivot. I may actually. You guys may get me to build another lineup here. I don't like to roll that hard though. 5 lineups is too much. You don't want to put in more lineups where if you do win the whole thing, you're only getting 10 times your money or whatever. You don't want that. You don't want to put in $3,000 in lineups and then you have to come in like fourth to get any of the money back. You don't want to do that. CP3 against Lillard's terrible defense. Rather go someplace else. I chose to take Redick from that game. Rubio questionable, but likely to play in my opinion. I'm not messing with Levine tonight or Rubio. None for me, thanks. What else we got going on here? Yeah, it looks like it for the news right now, as far as like people being in, out, and what have you. Now, a lot of people have been talking Randy Foy. I've got Randy Foy in one lineup, but here's the thing about that. If you think you can find a guy who's within $400 to $600 of Foy, who you think can absolutely do better, you play him. And the reason is Randy Foy is going to be high owned tonight, I would imagine. Um, Not high owned like 50% owned, but there may be 22% of the field on him because he's starting and he's a $3,000 guy. He's mid salary. But my feeling is every time, and I've seen it happen, I said it on another podcast, I've seen it happen with Lynn, I've seen it happen with Martin, I've seen it happen with a lot of these guys that get brought into the starting role. They're good with the second team, they come in with the starters, and they are not utilized as much because they're the third or fourth guy when it comes to shooting. Only a guy that gets a ton of peripheral stats do I like when they move into the starting lineup. If they're kind of scoring dependent, then I'd rather find somebody else and let everyone go, ooh, $3,000. He's gonna kick ass tonight. He's gonna get me 18 points, no problem. Well, yeah, but I'm gonna try to find a guy that's gonna score me 25 points, 30 points, and if he shits the bed and has a 10-point game, guess what? You're gone. Bye-bye. So I've got one Foy. Foy or Snell. You put Foy in one, you put Snell in the other. Dwayne Wade versus Avery Bradley, or do you think Crowder will be on him? If he's not on him at the beginning, he will be eventually. Any Reggie Jackson? No Reggie Jackson. Oh, Jeremy, thank you very much. He said he likes my insight, and he thought it was cool that I gave out that advice, like the hot roster thing. Guys, I want to help, man. Who knows how long this game will even be here? So let's get some people some money. I'm very grateful to have won, and won as often as I have over the course of the last. For those of you who don't know, anyone that's not tuning in of the other shows, I've won 100. It was 154,000 or so in like 15 days. I took 100 grand down a tournament, and that was the bulk of it. I needed that win, but took down 100 grand and then took down 14, 20, and 20. So people started to say, "Ooh, I want your advice. I want you to weigh in." And I said, "You know what? I'm going to give back to the community. Not for free forever, but for now until I can put something together that I think is worthy of trying. Because I want to make it a fun show. I want to make it almost very not. I want to make it about basketball, but not. Obviously, that's the focus, but I want it to be funny. I want those stories about my day, what happened last night, the date that I went on, or the whatever, what happened with my girlfriend. Not date, but I went out with my girlfriend. Not dating another person, like with my girlfriend. Whatever. Stories from my life, things that are happening, funny, just funny anecdotes and what have you. And then also talk sports. Something you can listen to that you can just enjoy for the entertainment value of it. And not necessarily stats, 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 stats. Because at the end of the day, all you guys really care about is who I like. You don't need me to talk about 950 players and go, oh, this guy's got merit, this guy's got merit. You guys want me to go, I like this guy and this is what I'm going with. Then you choose whether or not you want to believe me. Like anything else, like a handicapper or a tout service or whatever. If they're hot, you play them. If they're cold, you fade them. But hopefully, the whole time you're here, you're having a good time. So, we got any other questions, guys? Currently, check the Twitter feed. Do you like anything tonight? Not sure where to go. About to walk into class. Want to make a lineup real quick for a double up game. Well, this is a friend of mine, so I don't know how to get him the information that he wants currently because I'm dealing with you guys. I'm not dealing with you guys. I like you guys. Text him back. Where's my girl? Where's my girl Michelle? Where's she at? Any value in? I hate him. Jokic, I hate him. He fouls too much, and I hate him. Can you shoot me a lineup? I promise I'll only be able to 4-3, and it won't be competitive. No, I don't give out lineups like that. I will never sell a lineup. That's a slippery slope, and I'm not going to do it. Sorry, Clayton. I like the balls on you for asking though. If Bosch sits, Whiteside's value goes up. Yes, because then he becomes the tallest fucker on the court. So I'm waiting on that myself, because that may be my pivot from Drummond to save a little bit of salary if it allows me to do something else that I want. Pivot off Caspi, I would with Drummond going. I only like to play peripheral characters from Sacramento when Drummond or not Drummond when Cousins is out. LOL, I was kidding, but just wishing. Yeah, well, but you weren't though. Like you were. It was one of those things where it's like when you say to a girl like, "So, would you ever have sex with me?" Nah, I'm just messing with you. And then she's like, "Oh, well, I would," and you're like, "Ah, well, I'm just totally serious then. Let's roll on out of here." Like it's only a joke if I go no. If I was like, "Yeah, bro, yeah, let me send you one over right now," click. You wouldn't have gone, "Hey, now, I'm joking. I didn't really want that." Yeah, I got you, buddy. Whiteside will be top center if no Bosch, which again, makes me like Drummond. You can see Drummond not having the game, everyone thinking, yeah, so can I, but that's why I don't have him everywhere. That's why I split my exposure. What else we got going on here, boys? Anything from the Twitter sphere? Any KCP? Not for me. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't turn that shit down. Didn't expect it. I guess is a better way of putting it. The Greek Freak. I'll tell you something, guys. I'm not hip to all the nicknames. Is that Gobert? The Greek Freak? Gobert. Yeah, he's gonna touch the basketball. He's going to have a basketball in his hands. He's going to shoot it. He's going to rebound it. But I'm not on him. Twitter. Someone else is saying, send me the lineup, not that guy. I'm not sending anybody a lineup, guys. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I do like him. I've got some exposure to him. I play shitty FanDuel, no utility spot, Capella over Drummond. Look, this is pretty much a DraftKings show. I'm not even really the scoring on FanDuel. I'm not very familiar with, and I don't really, I don't know how to tell you. Oh, Greek Freak is. You're right. Good barriers for Stifle Tower. Look, guys, it's a long day. Any cheap or punt power forward you like tonight? I already gave those out. Send me the lineup, not that guy. No, at Anthony underscore era. I will not be doing that. Bosch is expected to play. That's why you have to have this, guys. This is really, really good. Bosch is expected to play. So Whiteside is not, but he's sick. So if you think he's going to play sickish, no Gary Harris, who benefits. Well, Foy immediately because he's coming in and getting the minutes, but it depends on whether or not his shots are going to go down. And other than that, just you got to look at. Let me look at Denver. Got to look at who's on the court. I got to go over here to do this. All right. We'll just select Denver so I can get an in-depth look at the team. Denver. For Denver. Barton could benefit from that. Gallinari benefits from that because he's got to take, a few more shots. It's just shuffling around a few more shots. I would say Gallinari and Barton, other than Foy, get the most bump from Gary Harris being out. But Fareed has been, sick and everything, and or hurt or whatever his problem was. I forget if they're because of their feet or because of their whatever. I would say Fareed, because I see you saying that, Jerry Jones, but I don't know about his injury or his situation. I don't know if I could trust him. So I try to build out, you always got to build out a game script in your head. I don't care who it is you start, and I don't care who it is you put in, as long as you can justify it with a reason. So you want to, I feel that Fareed is going to struggle, and Harris is out. So I go, these shots are being shuffled here. Now, does that mean they're going to make them? Not necessarily, but they're going to get the opportunities to. Stars and scrubs, I'm a little more balanced. I do have like a scrub or two in each lineup, but I'm more sitting at like one top tier, second tier, like 3 mid tier, and then bottom of the barrel. Is the Clippers game afraid of a blowout game? Game script I don't see going the Blazers' way. If that's how you see it, then that's how you see it. I try not to take starters in games with over-unders higher than 10 or lines higher than 10, and there isn't one currently. So even though this Clippers game has a high over-under, second high, or sorry, not over-under, line. It's the second highest line of the day, with Golden State being -8 and the Clippers being -7. It's not 10. 10's the number where I start to get scared and start to go, oh man, this could go south. So I think that has the potential to be a competitive game, and I do like to have people, but I've gone with Reddick. Reddick's my hammer there. That's me. The late night hammer. Make sure you guys follow me at DFS is Fun on Twitter. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. Make sure you tell your friends, get people in here. The more people that I can get to, the better it is for me, guys. And the more incentive I'll have to do. If this doesn't grow, if it doesn't go, like how many viewers? We have 26. We capped out at 32. If this doesn't go to, 50 inside of like a week or two, and then to 55, and then in a month 100 or whatever, I'm just gonna stop doing it because there's no point. And I also do baseball, guys. Those will be the two sports that I'll be talking about. I'll be talking about NBA and baseball. Maybe if I get better at NFL or hockey or whatever, I'll start talking about it. But until I'm confident that I know what I'm talking about, I don't want to steer you guys into a wrong decisions. Fandom and DK all the same to me. Any advice else? Well, Chips, they're not really the same. Oh, this is Ben Howard. I talked to you. They're the same, but they're not. So, but if you think that they're the same and it doesn't really matter, then just listen to the show and apply what I'm saying to the different site. Any love for Zaza? Huge over under in the game. I don't hate Zaza. I didn't go there. Golden State. I think. Okay. Well, yeah, they shift. I understand that. But there we go. Jeremy Yoshimoto got the money. Our big winner in the prize that we did before. You just guys discuss Reggie Jackson. We did briefly. I went no on Reggie Jackson. Any interest with Felton? I like Felton, but I only have him in a single lineup because I don't love Felton. How important is pace when picking your lineups? Yes, I like paced up games, but it's more about how the offense runs that I look at. You've got teams where there are guys like, well, I guess Curry's a bad example because everyone knows he's good, but people that are going to put up a shit ton of shots. It doesn't matter if they can only score 80 points. There are certain guys that are going to try to score 30 of them, of those 80. So I do consider pace. It's very important. But if it's a paced up game where they spread the ball around and it's a team where everyone likes to get 12, 11, 10, 22, 15, like that's how the starters end up going, then I don't care if they're going quick or fast because I'm not going to take the whole team. I need one guy that's going to excel beyond the other guys. That's why the minute there's an injury or someone that's going to play something completely astronomically different than what they usually play, I got to have that person. I don't care if Derrick Rose sucks tonight. If Derrick Rose sucks tonight and I lose all my money, well, then so be it. But he, to me, is the only player tonight that is going to be forced to play a lot of minutes. Aminu or no Aminu? He's been underperforming lately, but in a high-paced game, you think he will excel. I don't know. It's too. I like Amino. I always like Amino. I don't necessarily like him tonight. I have no exposure to Kawhi or Jimmy Butler. Back to Amino. Um, Aminu is someone that if his three's on, he's on fire, and if he's boarding and everything. But I don't know. I don't know about him tonight. He's got to contend with, excuse me, two big men for the rebounds in Blake and Drummond. Not Drummond. Blake. I always get those two not confused. I know who they are, but I always want to say Andre Drummond. No, it is. No, it's not. What am I doing here? Andre Drummond plays for Detroit, right? Jordan, DeAndre Jordan. Something about Andre Drummond and DeAndre Jordan. It always screws me up. He's got to contend with both of those guys, and I just don't. Yeah. Sorry for the people. Gordon Hayward love against Golden State. I like Gordon Hayward, but I had to take him out. It just didn't work in my scheme. But I do get a yes from him. No exposure to Deron Williams because of the way it is. I did what I did, but I like Deron Williams. He was in a lineup, but then I went a different route. But yes on Deron Williams. Did you see Scottie Pippen's wife jumping on a trampoline vine? No, I did not. I missed that one. Need a guy around that price point. Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly, he's a great defender and he can get steals and stuff and he'll shoot the three ball, but I I'd rather pay up a little bit and take. I mean, where are you putting him? Is he in your guard spot or is he in your point guard spot? Is he? I mean, depending on where he is, if you're putting him in the guard spot and you can switch him out for somebody else, I would rather have JJ Redick than Beverly tonight. Pay an extra 600 or $500 and get Beverly. I'd also. So, have I helped anybody lately that's been listening to this? Has anyone been doing a little bit better? Some kind of a testimonial here, so I know that I'm not. I don't do any cash. I don't do any cash. I'm not going to tell you who a must in cash is. because it's a completely different game that I'm not really familiar with. Every time I play in cash, I just get pounded. So this is always GPP only, and it's DraftKings GPP specifically. Best shooting cards. Pay up for value. Pay up or find value. Any love for Turner? Um, I'm 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 pretty much selling out on Gerald Green. I'm going with value. So if he sucks, I have a really poor night. But in order for him to suck, he's got to get less than 20. He gets to 20, he's good. He goes beyond that, I'm very happy. I mean, you're looking for 6x, but I'll take 5. You know, that'll at least make you the money. Um, okay, no insult intended on the Rose question. Appreciate what you do, bud. Beverly is a nice sleeper. No, there's no. Did I sound insulted? No insult intended on the Rose question. Uh, you can't offend me. If you want to insult me, fuck it. Go ahead. What do I care? I got to think. I'm a comic, dude. I get heckled. All right, I'm used to it. You know, I get all kinds of heckles. You know, like you're so good looking, you're so sexy, your dick is huge. We can tell, like stuff like that. You know, usual stuff. Like that. No, I got thick skin, man. You're not gonna offend me. But he said no insult intended on the Rose question. Appreciate what you do. Beverly, a nice sleeper today or nah? I'm going nah, but you can play him. Uh, First time listening. Well, nice to have you, Anthony Morales. Best shooting guards. I think I answered that one. I missed it, I'm sure. Reggie Jackson, I didn't like him. You're helping me understand NBA DFS better for sure. I still managed to screw up my lineup somehow, or I do okay, just a little short cast. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, it's going better. Awesome. Any thoughts on Moutier? Yeah, he's going to have to get a little more involved in the offense as a result of it. Pretty much boils down to what do you think of Foy? Once again, create a game script in your head, guys. And I love narratives. And people were asking me about the Rondo narrative, but I don't really consider him being like pissed off. You know, it's not like he was with. It's not like they're going back to Boston after he was with them forever. He did Mavericks for a season, and Boogie's in now. So even if I believed in that particular narrative, because Boogie's in, I don't like it. When it comes to narratives, though, those are definitely a thing in basketball, more so than any other sport. As a matter of fact, I think they really only matter in basketball, because in baseball, I mean, you can swing as hard as you want, but if you don't hit it out of the park, you don't hit it out of the park. You're only going to get 4 at bats, 5 at bats if your team's kidding it. A basketball player, they can throw the ball up anytime they want. I did awesome the other day Saturday. I had top 200 in the sharpshooter. So keep it up, good work. Thank you, man. I'm happy that you did well. What's the reasoning on the Reddick play? Any interest in Will Barton? No interest in Will Barton. My reasoning on the Reddick play is something that I read about him statistically having good numbers. His shot seems to be coming around a little bit. Doesn't look like his legs bothering him. And I'm playing my gut. I'm playing my gut with Reddick. Any Tim Duncan love tonight? I like Tim Duncan. Didn't go that route, but he's not a no. What are you saying? I don't think you're insane for liking Tim Duncan. Any love for Griffin? Great insane matchup. Always goes off on the Blazers. Yes, but I can't. I just didn't go that route. I do like Griffin, but I didn't go that route. Interest in Beverly getting. Is that like Yoda's way of saying that they're interested in getting Beverly? Is that like interest in Beverly getting? I don't have any interest in Beverly getting. I sense much fear in you. Interest in Beverly getting you have. Durant, then Griffin, then McKay. Yeah, I like Durant. Logging out. Good stuff today. Again, good luck tonight, ladies and gents. It's pretty much lady and gents, but I'm with you. Later, Jeremy. We're going to wrap it up here soon. Give you guys another like 2 or 3 minutes to fire in your questions. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. 5 o'clock is the time that I'm shooting for, guys, every day. And I'm going to try not to be like these other people that they say 5 o'clock and then they can't get their shit together until like 5:05. It's kind of like the NBA. I don't understand why they're the only sport that can't start, on time. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Makes no sense. Like puck drop, 7:05. Guess when the puck drops? 7:05, 7:06 at the latest. If it's not like the first game of the season or whatever. Like once we're into the season, it's not like the first opening game. But first pitch 7:05. Guess when the first pitch is being thrown? 7:05. Kickoff 1:05, 1:15, 4:30, 8:30. Guess when that ball's going? Bing. Maybe 2-3 minutes later. NBA start time 7:05. Tip off 7:24. Like what is going on? Point guard, shooting guard. What? Wait, don't log off. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. What are you asking for? You asked me for the whole team? Like no. 60-second recap. I don't even know what I said, bro. It's a stream of consciousness. Just go back and listen to it. That's what I'm saying. I give you guys an hour. You can go back and. I mean, I'm sorry that I do so much babbling and other stuff, but that's what this is about. It's kind of hard to find the information that you want on the show on the rewatch. So you got to show up. You got to show up and you got to be here. You got to listen to my antics. You got to listen to my antics and watch me smoke cigarettes. Last question. Best point guard tonight. For me, Curry. But then when we come down for value, Rose. My bad. I log on late. It's all right, Metro Link Chicago. I think NBA gives more power to the networks in case if one game is going longer, which is no. I understand that. That's fine. Because when it's like first off, when it's a nationally televised game, it's a nightmare. They might go a half an hour later, and I understand that if it's a back to back and they want to get the coverage. I'm talking about it's the beginning of the game. It's on NBA League Pass. It's not on network television where they've got to do all their things, and you've got to listen to Charles Barkley go, man, that's terrible, man. Let me tell you something, man. That's terrible. Up there, the way they shoot them shots, that's terrible. Like I get that they've got to do their whole thing, and Shaq's got to come out there. And Shaq's got to do his thing, and Shaq's got to say what he likes, and Shaq's got to be like, I really think, Kobe retired. I think that he's one of the best players I ever played with, man. Let me tell you. So you got to have all that stuff, which is fine, and I get that, but when it's just a regular game at 7 o'clock, I don't know why they can't tip it off in time. And I think that these sites should change their tip-off times as far as their lineup locks. I really think the lineup should lock when the game starts. Like just have someone sitting in the offices at DraftKings or wherever, and they've got the games up. It's like, oh, tip-off? Okay, that game's locked. Tip-off? Okay, that game's locked. Because that would also prevent a lot of this, last minute this guy decided not to go, because a lot of times you're watching the game, they'll be like, and in a change of events, Drummond has decided not to play tonight. He wasn't feeling well, and there's still 3 or 4 minutes before tip off, but because the game locks at 7 o'clock, and these guys don't start playing until 7:30 something. I mean, it's crazy. You can't do anything. Rose or Curry for GPP, both. Pair them up, put them together. Top point besides Griffin and Millsap. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, man. Mirotic. Who's the best point guard tonight? Cephalosia. Thabo or Ursan. I like Cephalosia. Answer mine, ROFL. His question was a waste of time. Utility spot. Do you have a good source for percentage of shots that are taken per game per player? I mean, Roto Grinders has all that stuff, and NBA Wowie is a place you can go for usage, but I don't put too much stock in that. Every night's different. I put a lot of stock in regression. Someone's got 3 bangers in a row. I like to start fading them. Someone hasn't done well in 2 or 3 games that has the potential to score 35, 40. I like to start getting them in my lineup. So I think that's going to be it for me, guys. Pass it on to your friends. Had a lot of fun with you guys, and I'm going to bounce, and we will line up note. Dwight Howard's limit 25 minutes, so Bigger Skev not too worried about him going over on Monday. Thank you for the note. So, yeah, that's going to be – oh, man, questions are still coming in. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. Would you take Mirotic even though he'll be facing Argentina? Yeah, because what I'm doing is I'm doing it – if it's one lineup, no, but Capella's value is dropping. It is. I agree. But I think I still may roll with it, depending on what I'm gonna need late news. Would you take Mirotic even though he'll be facing Aldridge? Yes, I I like Miritich, but if you're just putting in one lineup, Metrolink, I wouldn't do that because yes, he throws up three. It's like, you should be my co-host, Jared. He fires three balls, so it's all about what has the potential to happen, not what's going to happen. Later, Jared. Not what's going to happen, what has the potential to happen. So if he's going to put up, 8 threes tonight, I want him. That might be a little high, but that's what I'm looking for. All right, guys. So that's the show. Once again, please follow me at DFS is fun at DFS is fun on Twitter. Please subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe if you like funny stuff to Choke on Funny. You can subscribe to me on Twitter at Choke on Funny. You can subscribe to me on YouTube, Choke on Funny, and all that kind of stuff. And dude, great pod. Your Shaq was spot on. Great stuff, man. On the same page tonight. Hopefully, we'll win some money. And I'm gonna end on that flattering note. I'll see you guys later, and thank you so much for tuning in. Later, guys.